Now I seem to have all the components needed for a triathlon. I could bike, and I actually had a pretty good bike at the time. It was still my high school bike, but it was a 10-speed bike at the time, and that's really what you want to use for racing. You could use a mountain bike if you wanted when you were starting, but I did have the racing bike. I could swim, because you don't really lose your technique when you're not swimming, so I could get in the pool and I could swim. But my nemesis, of course, was the run. I was a slow runner, and I was carrying an awful lot of extra weight. I could still go for a bike ride and be okay, I could still swim and be okay, but I had to get in shape for the run. And the way I got in shape is I would go out my front door, I'd go down to the end of the sidewalk, and I would run. I would run like the wind to the very next street light. So maybe 20, 30 meters. So I would run one street light, walk to the next one. Run one, walk one. Run one, walk one. And I had to do that for a couple of months before I actually felt strong enough to say, okay, I'll run 3 and walk 1. But in doing that, I was able to build myself up enough so that I felt confident that I could actually enter a race and not embarrass myself. So my first race was supposed to be in 1999. I wrecked my knee the week before my race. I was playing baseball. And I went to the doctor, and the doctor told me, you have torn cartilage, you have a sprained MCL, medial collateral ligament. I said, that's okay, I'm not worried, as long as I can still do my triathlons, because I was in shape now. And he told me, no, you won't be doing a triathlon, because you cannot run on that knee. And I said, well, what happens if I do? And he said, you'll be here for a knee replacement within 5 years. And that was back in 1999. And I thought, well, if I have to get a replacement anyways, I may as well run on it, because I don't want to go back to being the couch potato. It took me 2 years to completely rehab. I was in a cast for 6 months, and then I had to do rehab, and then the operation, more rehab. Started running, and my doctor was an excellent doctor, because I was able to run without much pain, but I was even slower. But finally, I did my first race in 2001, and I was amazed. I finished 3rd in my age group. Finishing 3rd in my age group wasn't all that hard, because there were only 3 people in my age group. But I walked away very happy, very pleased with that, and decided I will do more of these. So I started training more and started boosting the distance. So now instead of doing the sprint, I was doing the Olympic distance. And if you watched the Olympics the last time around, you might have an idea how long that is. You're swimming 1,500 meters, you're biking 40 meters, and then you're running, 40 kilometers, and then you're running 10 kilometers. So I bumped it up a little bit. And although I struggled, I was able to complete that. So I decided, let's bump it up to the next level, which is known as the half Ironman. The half Ironman, now you're swimming 3 kilometers, and you're biking 180 kilometers, and you're running a half marathon, which is 21 kilometers. And I was quite pleased with that, but I was very tired. I almost made my goal. My goal was to do it in 6 hours, and I came in 6 hours and 5 minutes. And I kind of flirted with the idea of, I'll do a full Ironman, which is double the distance. Good sense prevailed though, and my wife prevailed. And I ended up not doing the Ironman because it was simply too much training. Instead, I decided I will become competitive, because up until now, and I was just participating, I was still finishing high in my age group. I was finishing high overall. My goal had always been finish in the top half of all the competitors. But I was getting older now, and there were fewer and fewer people in my age group, and I decided I would like to win some races. Let's just cut there, and then we'll get to the next one.